As a constitutional law attorney, former senior legal advisor, and personal counsel to President Donald J. Trump, Jenna Ellis believes in the rule of law and the importance of integrity in our elections. And she's ready to tackle the big cultural and legal issues facing America. This is the Jenna Ellis Show. Here is your host, Jenna Ellis.
Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of the Jenna Ellis Show. I'm Jenna Ellis, and we have been talking on this show, and I think we need to talk more broadly about President Trump's tech policy and a digital bill of rights. Of course, Ron DeSantis, governor out of Florida, has also issued a policy and his preferred policy out of the state of Florida that is mirroring that and is calling for a tech digital bill of rights. This is really important. And how does that landscape really look heading into the presidential election cycle and into the future of the digital public square? Well, Devin Nunes, who is, of course, the CEO and president of the Trump Media and Technology Group that runs Truth Social, partners with Rumble, which, by the way, my show on Rumble, and I'm also on Truth Social. Go follow me there, and definitely subscribe to this show on Rumble. Keep that platform going. Subscribe there, because who knows when we'll get kicked off YouTube again. So go and subscribe there. But Devin Nunes will join me right after this to talk about that and also answer the question, will President Trump return to Twitter? All of that right after this. With inflation, the banking world collapse, and everything that Joe Biden is doing not to protect America, you need to make sure to secure your financial health, especially in retirement. And hey, if you're a millennial like me, that actually is sooner than you think. You need to start now, even if you are a millennial or a Gen Zer, to make sure that your financial health is actually healthy when we get to retirement. And Legacy Precious Metals has a revolutionary new online platform that allows you to invest in gold and silver online in real time. In a few easy steps, you can open an account online, select your metals of choice, and choose to have them stored in a vault or shipped right to your door. You'll have access to a dashboard where you can track your portfolio growth in real time anytime. You'll see transparent pricing on each coin and bar, and this puts you in complete control of your money. The platform is free to sign up for. Visit legacypminvestments.com and open your account and see this new investing platform for yourself. Gold hedges against inflation and against a volatile stock market. A truly diversified portfolio isn't just more stocks and bonds, but different asset classes. This brand new platform allows you to make investments in gold and silver, no matter how small or large, with just a few clicks. Visit legacypm.com to get started. You can download the free investor's guide, and you can also call Legacy PM Investments to talk to a portfolio expert to get expert answers to your to customize your personal portfolio. So visit legacypminvestments.com to get started. Tell them that Jenna sent you. Joining me now is my good friend Devin Nunes, who is the CEO of the Trump Media and Technology Group, and of course runs Truth Social. So Devin, it's great to talk with you again. And there are so many things going on in the tech policy landscape, and I kind of want to start there first with President Trump's tech and digital bill of rights, because I think out of all of his policy platforms, this one is getting kind of the least attention that should be getting a lot more attention, especially when we look at what has been revealed through the Twitter files and this kind of collaboration from the Biden administration and the deep state with big tech, ultimately to act as agents of the government to censor our freedom of speech. And that's exactly what Truth Social is being designed to combat against, to really give us a free speech platform for political viewpoints.
Yeah, Jenna, thanks for having me on. And, the goal of Truth Social, our mission here is very simple. It's to open the internet back up and give the American people their voice back. And, I always tell people, remind people that President Trump didn't need a new company and I didn't need a new job. We just, millions of Americans just had no voice. And, and we've successfully done that, right? I mean, we finally were approved in the Google Play Store. So now you can get us on any device in the United States of America. We've actually expanded to the UK, Canada, and Brazil. And so if you look moving forward, President Trump, he was forced to do this, but he did it for everyone, right? We're creating this so that everybody can use it. As you know, we work closely with Rumble. So one of our key partners. And President Trump is running again for president. And I think you're exactly right. The fake news and even people on the right, I would say, don't care if President Trump and his supporters are, so what if they get banned a little bit here and there, or they don't get the coverage on some of the different newscasts. I think there is a definite movement that wants to kind of take, obviously the left is scared of Trump because they know that he's the only guy that can win those Rust Belt states. And then I think you have kind of the never Trump Republicans who get Democrat money, and you have a lot of the Wall Street guys who don't want to see Trump win. So they purposely are suppressing that President Trump, number one, has really been stepped up, is standing in the breach. I always say that Elon Musk probably doesn't buy Twitter if it wasn't for Truth Social and Rumble being here, giving people their voice back. I really don't believe that happens. I think you don't see President Trump and millions of Americans get back on Twitter if it's not for Truth Social and Rumble. I think you don't see Facebook and Instagram, start to if they don't put President Trump back on. I think if there's no Truth Social, no Rumble, I think that doesn't happen. So there's, clearly they want to kind of gloss over this digital Bill of Rights. And I think the president is doing a good job in terms of these videos that he's putting out. I thought the one that he put out yesterday on, very clear policies on international affairs and kind of his concern about the growing threat of wars abroad. I think these videos have, from my view, look, I'm just running a private company, but just from what I'm seeing on Truth Social and across social media, these policies are being taken very well by people.
Yeah, they really are. And interesting that you say, and I agree with that perspective, that if it weren't for Truth Social and Rumble and some of these alternatives that really pressured the other companies to then, kind of relinquish some of their progressive censorship and viewpoints, we wouldn't have that. And that's one of the great things about the free marketplace of not only ideas, but also entrepreneurship and ingenuity. Because if they had a monopoly on the digital public square, then there would be no incentives other than maybe forced by the government to do something like that. So I think that's a really fair point. But just recently, I think it was either today or yesterday, that an article dropped that was suggesting that because Elon Musk and also Mark Zuckerberg with Meta are allowing President Trump back on their platforms, that now somehow, this eliminates the need for Truth Social. And if he were to start posting on those platforms, then, suddenly there would really be no bargaining chip for Truth Social. What's your take on that?
Well, I would say, first of all, roughly about a third of our users are not on any other platform. And we don't know if that's because they were kicked off the other platforms, or if they've just left the other platforms on their own, or if maybe they never were on any other platforms. But it's a pretty amazing statistic. And you have to remember that we're not going anywhere. Remember about a year ago when we started beta testing, and then we fully launched on the Rumble Cloud to everybody on Apple in April. At first it was, oh, no one's going to join. They're not going to be able to do it on their own. Who can do it without Microsoft and Jeff Bezos at Amazon? Nobody can do this. What they're trying to do can't possibly be done. And then, of course, they've been attacking our finance company. They've been stopping the Biden SEC is not letting us get the financing so that we can actually really go out there and compete with these big tech companies. Finally, we were put on the Google Play Store right at the end of October, so that we're fully open and launched to everyone. And so, this is just, I think what you're seeing here is that Twitter desperately needs President Trump back on there. I think the reason you have Instagram and Facebook put them back on because they need Trump on there, because these are legacy social media platforms that have really plateaued and are not growing. And they're getting tremendous pressure from China-owned TikTok. So because they've kind of alienated, I think you've got a large percentage of conservative and Republican voters across the country don't really want anything to do with these platforms. They may feel like, well, I've got my family album on Facebook, or I kind of like the ease of Instagram. But these are not people that really want to, they're not going out of their way to get back on those platforms. And I can just tell you, as they gloss over, they refuse to report that, we continue to set records week after week after week, and we grow, by thousands of users every single day, and have been, for a year now. So those are the things that you don't see. So they first tried to predict that we couldn't possibly make the tech work. We got through that. They've successfully cut off our money to stop us from being able to access the big public markets. But guess what? President Trump has said, and I have said, look, we're not going to go anywhere. You can stop us from being able to fulfill our business plan. You can stop us from being able to spend the money on some of the features that we'd like to develop. But guess what? We're still going to be coming out with features. I mean, if you look at it, we have a native Android app. We have a Discover page that we just launched this month. We have direct messages that just launched last month. And we're building out features for groups. So even though they're starving us of that kind of massive hundreds of millions of dollars, even on the small budget that we have, we're still going to build this stuff. So they're not going to stop us. And now it's funny that, now they're changing the whole story has went from, oh, they can't possibly make the tech work, to, oh, well, if Trump goes back on there, then there'll be no more Truth Social or Rumble. It's just not good. It's just silliness. And I think it's desperate. And look, I mean, if we suddenly start losing people on the platform that go back to these other platforms, I mean, I'll be the first to tell you, but I don't think it's going to happen. And another little fact that people, and you may not even know this, Jenna, that President Trump has more followers today on Truth Social than he had on Twitter when he came down the escalators with Melania to announce his run for president back in 2015.
Wow.
So think about that. Yeah. So think about that. Nobody, no social media company has ever grown this fast, plain and simple. I mean, it took Facebook, Instagram, Twitter years, and I'm guessing hundreds of millions of dollars, if not even into the billions, to get to where we are today in just a short amount of time.
And I think that's what a lot of these naysayers are either willfully ignoring or forget, that Truth Social is kind of in its infancy. I mean, you haven't been around as long as some of these other platforms, and they have grown and developed, but they've been kind of slow to get where they are. And yet Truth Social has shot up as a major player in these platforms, really because of President Trump and because of that brand, and because of really the void of a platform where people felt comfortable expressing conservative viewpoints and opinions for fear of getting censored. I mean, I know, especially before Elon Musk, but even currently on Twitter and Facebook, sometimes I modify what I tweet out or what I say, just going, well, are the gods that be internally on, in these big giant tech companies, are they going to view this differently? Or maybe down the road, when, Elon hands it over to another CEO, are they going to go back and say, oh, something you tweeted a year and a half ago, you're now suspended because that was, this nebulous version of hate speech. I mean, it's ridiculous that it's so unpredictable. But I think what a lot of people genuinely love about Truth Social is that you want a diversity of viewpoint in these political opinions that genuinely are a public forum.
Yeah. Well, I think this too about Twitter. And look, I have no reason to believe that Elon Musk is not trying to do the right thing there. President Trump and I have been very supportive of Elon Musk purchasing Twitter. Anything to take it away from the lunatics that had it before, we think is a good thing. But they're still having issues there. I mean, every day I see it on Truth Social. People are either still banned from Twitter or have been banned recently from Twitter. So that's still happening. Of course, Facebook and Instagram have never changed. So the banning of people, trying to vanish them from the internet continues to happen. And that's why there's always going to be a need for Truth Social and for a company like Rumble that we work closely with. We have to be there standing in the breach. And I think I said this on your radio show last week. And that is that the way people should view this is that you better be using Truth Social and Rumble as an insurance policy. And what I always tell people is, look, I don't care if you want to post on Instagram or wherever else. Those are the platforms have, good qualities about them. I mean, they do censor for conservative politics, but I can understand why you want to be in those venues. But for your own good, I'm not going to beg anybody, but you ought to be posted on Truth Social and your videos on Rumble, because it's just a no-brainer. Because at any given point, you can be banned and be disappeared from those other platforms.
Yeah, and you and I were talking last week, Devin, about my own experience with being banned off of YouTube, and that I'm currently in like a 2-week timeout. I didn't even know that I was until my producer told me. I have no idea what it was for. It was probably for some conservative viewpoint that a guest came on the show and said something that they viewed as violating their terms and conditions. And this is why I have continued to amplify this show on Rumble. And so for the people who are watching this, or if you're listening on audio stream, please go to Rumble and click that subscribe button to support Rumble and to support and grow the platform there. And for all of the conservative voices that you like, go and subscribe, because that just helps amplify the message. It helps support Rumble and some of these really great platforms that I'm very, very grateful for.
I was just going to say, which I didn't realize this. I had somebody tell me this yesterday. And that is because I have my own podcast that I just use. I used to use it to reach my constituency and supporters around the country. Now I've kind of converted. I brought it back alive, and I just use it to promote truth. It's just something that we do for fun. Matter of fact, hopefully, maybe Jen, I can have you come on my show, and I can interview you one of these days.
Would love to.
But I didn't realize. So I post to Rumble, the video portion of it, but I also post audio to across kind of all the platforms. And I had somebody tell me yesterday, I didn't realize that there are a lot of people out there who have been banned even from the audio, the different audio versions of podcasting. So you're exactly right. If you're listening to this on audio right now, you probably better go and follow your show, Jenna, because it's very possible that you could get kicked off of the podcasting capabilities too for audio.
Yeah. And then people just wonder like, oh, she probably just hasn't posted a new episode for a week or something like that. And you're actually getting that content censored from you. And that's why I'm so grateful that Truth Social exists. I'm on that platform. I'm on Rumble. And, these do need to be primary places of posting. And as the platform develops and as things, and I'm going to just, say for the whole audience right now, my personal wish on Truth Social is that we can schedule posts. That would be a great feature. That would be really helpful. And, but as more things are developed with those platforms and more people come on, then that just increases and amplifies genuine freedom of speech. And, a lot of people would say, well, Truth Social is only these kind of super, super alt-right people. I don't see that at all on Truth Social. And I see, and as you mentioned, I didn't know that President Trump had that many followers. And, but in just the last few minutes that I have with you, Devin, because I know you have another interview coming up, there's also a lot of speculation about when his exclusivity contract and agreement with Truth Social ends. And I think that winds up in June, according to reports. But whether or not he'll actually go back and post on some of these other platforms. And what I saw with the 2020 campaign was that he would natively post on a preferred platform and then just the copy paste in the distribution of some of the others. Is that potentially an option that he's going to use Twitter, or are you trying to just drive traffic to Truth Social and he'll stay there?
Well, it's kind of funny that the fake news and what they think they know, because all of this is very public. So President Trump can get out of his agreement with Truth Social at any time if he wants to. There's no date, there's no time, there's no time. I mean, that all that has passed, so he could get out at any point, any moment. What I've said, kind of very, I've said this even before, he was let back on these other platforms. And that is this, that, Twitter is a global PR wire. It's not a place that kind of your average Americans are. And I'm not speaking ill of it. I mean, I like the platform when it didn't censor people, but I don't use it. I mean, I go there to look at information. But it's kind of very biased information too, because that a lot of people you follow are being shadow banned. But it's not a bad place for kind of global news if you follow the right people. But that's all it is. It's news and information, and it's where political hacks, politicians, woke corporations, sports figures, Hollywood people, they just go and use it as a like an AP wire to put their messages out. It's not where people go to social network. So, for that reason, I don't know why President Trump, I haven't used it in years. I stopped using it years ago when I caught them shadow ban me back, I can't remember how many years, 5 years ago. So, and my message, I think, seemed to get out just fine. So I don't think there's really a reason to use Twitter. because plenty of the president's supporters put his messages onto Twitter anyway. Mm-hmm. Now, look, for Facebook and Instagram, I think it's much different because those platforms, although they are a competitor to ours, they've got, I would say Meta probably has a legit 100 million Americans or more. So it's real people on there. And, I don't know how you can run for president. And I said, the campaign has petitioned to get back on. Any presidential campaign, forget President Trump, they have to be able to advertise on these platforms, especially Meta. And if you can't, I think it's going to be tough. And it's going to be tough for any candidate to win. Because you may remember President Trump successfully used Facebook in 2016 to sneak up on Hillary Clinton. And that's why it was that 2016 election as to why they clamped down in 2017 and began all the censorship, because they decided they could never have anybody who unfiltered like Donald Trump out there on an open internet. Guess what? People like that win elections. And he won his election in 2016 because he successfully used Facebook. So if they weren't going to at least let his campaign back on there, I think there's already lawsuits that I'm not as familiar with, but I know there's pending lawsuits, I think, of the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. These companies need to be held accountable still for what they've done. They've already violated Donald Trump's rights as a U.S. citizen for the last 2 years, since he's been kicked off. So anyway, I give you only that long story just to say that, a lot of people are fixated on Twitter. I don't care about Twitter. But I do care about this is my personal belief that anyone running for president has to be able to utilize Meta because they're legitimately a big company. And if you can't be on there, it's almost like not being able to advertise on television, radio, cable, etc.
Yeah. And I think that's a fair distinction between kind of a PR wire, or as I always tell my parents, I'm just doom scrolling Twitter because it's all of the leftists, versus where you want to interact, where you want to post your photos, where you want to network, and kind of where the camaraderie is. And so I think that that's a really fair distinction as well for the campaign. And, look forward to this. I know we are out of time, but Devin Nunes, thanks so much for joining us and for all of your perspectives. And I would encourage everyone, go to Truth Social, get an account as an insurance policy. I have one. You can follow me at Jenna Ellis ESQ there. Also go to the Rumble channel, subscribe, and really appreciate your insights, Devin, and look forward to talking to you soon. Thanks.
Absolutely. Thank you. And I would just say too that, Truth Social is a very nice, friendly place to be because you don't see all the garbage that you see on the other platforms because we're family friendly. So we don't censor you for your political beliefs, but you're not going to see all the fake accounts and bots that you see on the other platforms. So I think and it's easy to use. So, look, I know I run the company, I'm not, but I legitimately, it's an enjoyable place to spend time. Especially, just to follow the people that you want to follow. It's very simple. And we've got a lot of good people, Jenna, that I think we talked about this on your radio show that really had no chance to ever be seen on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. And these people have come out of nowhere and they're really a lot of fun. There's so many of them, and I try to feature them on my podcast every week. And that's kind of what you're missing. You're missing out on people. You can get the same old people on those other channels and you can be shouted. But you're not going to find the people that are very creative, very talented that you'll find to follow on Truth Social.
Yeah, and that's true. And you do a great job of amplifying them. And, I think we're all tired of just the legacy media picks and, those who have been designated as, the voices and expressions of America. We like to hear from real people. Yeah. And, your Truth Social does a great job of retweeting or retruthing, and amplifying, all of those voices and also on your show. So really appreciate that. I've enjoyed my experience on Truth Social as well. So thanks so much, Devin.
Great to be with you. Thank you.
With inflation, the banking world collapse, and everything that Joe Biden is doing not to protect America, you need to make sure to secure your financial health, especially in retirement. And hey, if you're a millennial like me, that actually is sooner than you think. You need to start now, even if you are a millennial or a Gen Zer, to make sure that your financial health is actually healthy when we get to retirement. And Legacy Precious Metals has a revolutionary new online platform that allows you to invest in gold and silver online in real time. In a few easy steps, you can open an account online, select your metals of choice, and choose to have them stored in a vault or shipped right to your door. You'll have access to a dashboard where you can track your portfolio growth in real time anytime. You'll see transparent pricing on each coin and bar, and this puts you in complete control of your money. The platform is free to sign up for. Visit legacypminvestments.com and open your account and see this new investing platform for yourself. Gold hedges against inflation and against a volatile stock market. A truly diversified portfolio isn't just more stocks and bonds, but different asset classes. This brand new platform allows you to make investments in gold and silver, no matter how small or large, with just a few clicks. Visit legacypm.com to get started. You can download the free investor's guide, and you can also call Legacy PM Investments to talk to a portfolio expert to get expert answers to to customize your personal portfolio. So visit legacypminvestments.com to get started. Tell them that Jenna sent you.
Have you ever picked up a towel set because it felt so soft in the store, but then when you leave and you go to use it, it's not really that absorbent? It's basically a towel that is leaving you out to dry. That's why MyPillow has developed the MyPillow towels that actually work. I know, it's totally mind-blowing. Towels that actually dry you. Their 6-piece towel set includes 2 bath towels, 2 hand towels, and 2 washcloths. They come in a variety of colors. I have the sage green and the white. I love them. And right now you can receive a 6-piece set for only $39.98 with promo code Jenna. That's JENNA. So go to mypillow.com right now and click on the radio listeners special. MyPillow products come with a 10-year warranty and have a 60-day money-back guarantee. So to receive this amazing offer on the 6-piece towel set of MyPillow towels, just go to mypillow.com, click on the radio listener special, and enter promo code Jenna, that's JENNA, or call 1-800-564-8475. That's mypillow.com, promo code Jenna.